Okay, to make the Chun work and the Chi Sau, and to make it work in general, you have to have your 5 components, your base building components intact. Structure, angle, distance, timing, energy. In order to affect Chun in Sun Chi Sau, double hand Chi Sau, you have to first make sure that you have a good grasp of the Pun Sau, you're rolling, and that you have the right forward intention, and a basic understanding, and a good comfortable familiarity with Lat Sau Jik Chong. Lat Sau Jik Chong having that good springing elbow that tells you when and where your opportunities are. In this case, our forward intention creates opportunity with Chun. How? By having my forward elbow energy going, I'm trying to affect a break in his structure. In fact, you can see here, by using my timing and the energy that I'm employing with my elbow, I've collapsed his bong sau almost to a right angle. To the point where if you're trying to play with any kind of pressure, it negates the elbow and tricep muscle groupings and tricep tendon to be able to allow it to continue to spring into an active structure, and in fact the shoulder now takes over. If he tries to shift or yi-bong from this point where it's just broken, it in fact will break because now the shoulder and the bicep tendon is doing all the work. So through the forward intention, I'm trying to break his structure down. Now here's where Lat Sau Jik Chong and that familiarity comes in. Lat Sau Jik Chong will trigger when and where to tell me it's time to Lat Sau. So where my Lat Sau Jik Chong is telling me is that now I've collapsed his bong. It feels like my Fok Sau hand, which is going to be my Jut Sau hand, is running away from me. Almost like it runs away. And in turn, I'm also recognizing, I shouldn't have to recognize this visually, because if I'm looking down, I'm chasing my own hands with my eyes. I should be looking up and realizing what's happening in front of me. Taking full stock and inventory of everything that is happening in front of me visually, rather than just chasing my own hands and, oh, does it look good? That's not important. We have to be aware of everything that's in front of us, not what's below us. The moment we look down, the neck tips forward, therefore our stance and our structure breaks, we start to lean forward. Our opponent is in front of us, our focus should be in front of us. Therefore, we want to learn to trust our body's actions through Lat Sau Jik Chong, through the Pun Sau, through understanding Wing Chun concepts and actions and reflexes to make this work. So as I start to feel that my Fok Sau hand is running away because I'm using the right structure, angle, distance, timing, and energy to break down this Bong Sau, my Jut Sau will work. What's happening with my Jut Da, is that as I step, I'm creating an angle as well. We're starting off in an original triangle, which is established from our Yi to Kim Yong Ma. The triangle coming from our hip, from our knees, our heels, to our converging point where our fingertips are or our central line target is. So what's happening from this wide-based triangle, I'm dissecting my angle in half. In fact, I'm coming off the angle which is originating from both heel points. So I'm coming off the angle from my heel point. Therefore, his triangle, if he stands here with his hands out, okay, I've cut him in half. By cutting him in half, I've also halved his resources. In order for him to effect any kind of counterattack or any kind of countermeasure from this outside hand, because it's now farther away from me and outside, he would have to recover his footwork, his angle and his position. Oftentimes for the commoner, they would have to stretch or reach, therefore putting them at a disadvantage. We've already taken advantage of a line of attack, and by maintaining Chu Ying, while creating this new angle, we still have both hands at our disposal to control and finish our opponent. Jut Sau must have the coordination of both hands. It requires support from the base and Yuma, hip and waist power. How it's supported by the hands is not that the hands are activating per se, but rather our forward intention is telling us when to activate our Yuma and our Seungma, and in turn, the hand action and structures will be supported by a strong base and waist. If I just try to use my hands, easily Sam can thwart my advance. Whether it be Tanda counter from the inside or from the outside, or he just uses Pao Bong, which are the appropriate counteractions. There's a Pao To Bong Sau, which meaning wrong bong, and or he uses correct bong. So, if my forward intention is correct, my timing is good as it is learned through Lat Sau Jik Chong, it makes it very difficult to challenge this. The hip and waist affects torque, power, balance, and control through the elbows by learning how to use our Chun ma, shifting and combining it with Seung ma. Wing Tsun can be like math. We can add one piece to another piece to equal X or Y, whatever variable that we're trying to achieve, or end result or action we're trying to achieve. We can subtract pieces, we can add pieces, but it's very, very simple math. We can add this, and that. If we subtract something, we have to replace it with something else, because if we subtract too much, we become deficient. So, in order to learn how to use our Chun, our hip with our Chi Sau, we can break down Chi Da into a very simple action, just shifting. I can just shift Chun, practice it with the shifting. Once I feel comfortable with the shift, now I can incorporate the properties of Yu Ma, hip and waist power, with the active torquing action of Chun Ma into my Seung Ma. And now you've created torque. You've created torque. It's a whipping, thrusting, active, throwing, energy generating power.